Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be teaching you how to sew this newborn baby white garment. So I'm going to be showing you the methods that I used in making it and the measurements that I used in making it. So please continue watching. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to this channel, like this video and watch to the end. So these are the materials I'll be needing for today's tutorial. I have my everything here, as you can see it. Yeah, they are all set. Okay, so the material I'm using 2 yards, although I'm sewing 3 out of this. I'm removing 3 materials out of this 2 yards. So I'm sewing in 3 children's clothes. That's 2 boys and a girl, but I'm not sure it will be enough. So at the end of the video, I'll tell you if it was enough or not for the 3 of them. Maybe I later added or I didn't. But I would advise you, if you are sewing for a client, make sure you collect 1 yard per child. I think that will be enough. But I want to manage these 2 yards for 3 kids now. So let's go into the tutorial. So I just spread out the clothes now. What I'll be doing is folding it. So the length is what I want to cut out now. So the length I normally use for babies is 20 inches. So I normally use 20 inches for newborn baby because they are still very small. Their clothes should be, not too big, but at the same time, they should be able to wear it for at least the next 3, 4, 5 months. So I'm going to be adding 3 inches to the down. So instead of 4 inches, I normally add 3 inches. And because I'm managing these clothes, that's why I'm going to be adding 3 inches. So I have 23 inches here. So what I'll do next is fold it like this. So this measurement I'm working on, it's not really like a fixed measurement. It's because I've worked with this measurement for most babies. That's why I'm used to this measurement. That's why I'm using this measurement in case of people that are having issue with kids clothes, especially newborn clothes. So this is the measurement I've been using so far and it's working out fine for me. So yeah, I'm measuring out 23 inches. So I made the wideness here 20 inches for the body. The kid's body is 20 inches. So I'll add 1 inch. So divided into 4 is 5 inches plus 1 inch is 6 inches. So I have this cloth folded in 6 inches. So you can see that it's looking very small. It mustn't be too big so that the baby will be comfortable in it. And it mustn't be too small at the same time. So babies measurements are really tricky. The shoulder is 9 inches, so I normally make it 9 inches, which is 4.5 inches, but I'll be adding ½ inch for the sewing allowance and make it 5 inches. So I have like 1 inch left here. So their bust measurements, or let me say chest measurement, is 20 inches divided by 6 plus 1.5. So the armhole is going to be 20 divided by 6. That is 3.3333. So I approximated it to 3.5. So that 3.5, I'll be adding 1.5 inch. So this one is going to be 1.5 inch plus 1.5 inch. Then that is 5. 3.5 plus 1.5. That is 5 inches. So I'm chalking out 5 inches here. So now his neck, I'll make the wideness of the neck 1.5. So this is going to be the width of the neck, while the depth is going to be 2.5 inches. So that is how small the neck is going to be. So by the time I finish sewing it, you know that this one will be wider. It will now be 2, while this one will be wider and be 3. So this time I'm going to chalk out 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and slant it here. Okay, this armhole I'll just curve it out. Ẹni tó bá dènà tì ní Jésù ti dènà dè. Lábalábá tó bá dènà dè fún aṣọ ìyáyà. So from here to here, I have 18.5 inches. So that's going to be the flap. That's this side gusset. They call it gusset. Call it flap, anyone. Now I'm going to cut this out first. Then I'll cut the gusset out. So I just finished cutting it out. So like I said earlier, this is not like a standard measurement. This is just like my own personal measurement that I've worked with for a long time. So I'm just going to go ahead and notch this place. Okay. So I'll measure the sleeve. So his sleeve is 7 inches, like I said, for the length. It mustn't be too long. So the biceps, that's the upper arm, I'm going to make that 8 inches for the baby. So I'm dividing this into 2. So I'm dividing the 8 inches into 2. That's in 4 inches. So the 4 inches, I'll be adding extra 2 inches for the sewing allowance and make it 6 inches. So I'm cutting out 2 sleeves at a time. I just folded this into 2 like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it again. Then measure out 6 inches. So this is the normal 4 inches, which is 8 for the biceps. That's the wideness of the upper arm. So that's what I'm going to make the wideness to be. So plus this extra 2 inches for the sewing allowance. So that's 6 inches. So I have 6 inches here. So now I'm going to fold in like 2.5 or 3 inches, depending on what you want, so that when the baby is growing up, it will be easy to lose out. So I have 3 inches here. So that's what I'm going to be folding in. Then I'll pin it down. So like I said before, the length is 7 inches. I'm just going to add extra 1 inch to it. I'm supposed to add like half. I decided to add 1 inch. So this is a straight 1 inch. Then I'll come down by 3 inches. I'm just going to curve that to meet this place. So I have like 9 inches divided into 2, that's 4.5. Then plus 1 inch, that's 5.5. So I just slant it to meet here. So you can see that the sleeve is very short, so that it won't make the baby feel uncomfortable. That's why I made it the 7 inches for the length. So that the mother will not be folding. So as far as it's very short, the baby will be comfortable in it. Okay, so that's it for the sleeve. So now the side flap, that's the gusset. So like I said earlier, the gusset is 18.5 inches. So that's what I'll measure out here. Okay, so I have 18.5 inches, but I'll make it 19. So to have like extra half inch. Okay, so now just curve this and make a flap. So this is like a straight, then I slanted it like this. So here I'm going to measure 1 inch. That's for the tip here. Right down here, I'll make the wideness 5 inches for the down here. So just slant that to meet each other. Then I'll cut it out. So I'm going to measure the 19 inches round. So that's it for the flap. So after cutting it out, I have something like this. So this is what it's looking like. The facing of the neck. So the facing is, that's the neck depth is 2.5 inches. So I'll be adding extra 3.5 inches to the baby zone. If he's adult one, you can add more than that, but for this baby, it's going to be 3.5 inches to the 2.5. I'm talking about this depth. This is the neck depth, like from here to here is 2.5. So I'll be adding extra 3.5 inches for the facing. So that's 6 inches. So I made the length of the facing 6 inches. Okay. The width of the neck is 1.5 inches. So I'll be adding extra 3 inches for the side. So I'll be having 4.5. Now the width is 1.5 plus 3 inches, that's 4.5. Okay, so I need 4.5 for this. So let me just pin that down. Okay, so I'll just trace it out. Then measure the 3 inches on this side. Then measure 3.5 at the down part. So these 3 inches I measured, I'm just going to do like a straight line. So I have a straight line, but I'm going to curve it. So I'll just curve it in by 1/2 inch. Then slant it. So I'll be following this new slanted line. So this is how it looks like after cutting. So the next thing we'll be going into is the sewing of the clothes. So like I said before, after I'm done cutting the 3, I would let you know if it was enough for the 3 children at the end of the tutorial. So let's go into the sewing part. So guys, this sewing part isn't hard at all. It's very easy to make. I've already ironed this 4 parts. So you can see that I did the same thing to the facing too. So what I'm going to do is place it on each other and make it align. So it has to align. So now the 2 back will be facing up. Then I'm going to pin it down. So you can go ahead and pin it down in the 4 places. But I'll pinning it down in these 2 places. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it round by 1/2 inch all round. After sewing it, I'll notch these 6 parts. So I've already notched it like the 6 parts. So now I'm going to just flip it over and bring it to the face. So I've already brought everything out, then I've pinned it down. So now just make sure when you're sewing it, these lines align. So I have a tutorial on the neck part in case you're having issue with the neck part. So I'll try and post that in the description box. So these lines are now aligning. I had to shift it, then pin it down again. So this is how it looks like after sewing. The next thing I'll be joining is the flap. So that's the side flap. I'm going to be sewing 1/2 inch straight down. So make sure the front face the front. Then place it on each other and sew in 1/2 inch too. I think I'm having 5.5. So I'm having 5.5 in total for the armhole. So what I'm measuring on the sleeve is 5.5 inches for the wideness. Okay. So this is the sleeve. So these 3 inches I folded in before. I'm just going to fold in 1/2 inch. So this is the front, while this is the back. The folding is going to fold to the back. So guys, the 5.5 inches I measured on the armhole earlier, I'm going to measure it here. So the 5.5 inches stopped here. So the wideness is 4.5 inches. So I have like extra 1 inch here. So this is the front of the sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that inside this sleeve part. So this is the sleeve part. So when I'm sewing it, the front of the two materials is going to be facing each other. And I'll go ahead and sew it round. Okay, so I have a middle part here. I don't know if this is obvious. So the middle point is where the point 2 is going to be. So let me just notch that. That's the middle of the flap. So this is the flap in the middle here. Like the flap is start from here and ended here. So this is the middle of the flap. So make sure you join the sleeve too. Make sure it's on the middle. I'm gonna join it on the side though, the middle. That's why I notched it. So just sew it round. So after joining it together, I already have something like this. So now the down part. So this down part, after sewing it in, I have extra like 1/2 inch on both sides. I'll just trim that part away. So this is the flap. It's the flap that remains 1/2 inch. So I'm holding in 3 inches for the down part. So I'll start the sewing from the straight part. So I'm starting the sewing here, then go round. Just make sure when you are sewing it, this line corresponds with this. So you can pin it down first before sewing. Then you go ahead and pin this other side too. Just so you don't have a curved down, so that the down will not be curvy. So just make sure you're measuring the 3 inches as you are pinning it down. So this one too, the line is going to align. So I'll pin that too. So I'll do the same to this one too. You can see that this flap part is having extra folding. So just leave that for now. Make sure you pin this down too. So like I promised in the beginning of the video, the 2 yards was not enough at all for the 3 kids. So I ended up sewing like the boy and a girl cloth, but the remaining one was very little, like I had little left. So it was not enough for the third boy. So I'll be adding like half inch. I'll have to get half-inch material to it, then it will be enough for the 3 kids. So if you want to sew for your clients, you can get like 2.5 inches to 3 inches. So that's just it. So this flap part, I use it to do pleats. I'm going to do the same thing on this flap part, so I'm just going to pleat it. So you can pleat it left or right. It depends on the way it's balanced. And guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. So this is what I have. So this is the finished look after sewing it. So guys, after I was done with it, this is what I have. You can see how cute it is. So that is the end of this tutorial. I hope I was able to impact one or two things. So this is the method I use. This is my personal method. Please don't forget to share if you enjoyed this tutorial and like. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I'll see you in my next video.